Last winter, my neighbor spent $4 grand on a heating setup, only to freeze when the power went out. He bought a pellet stove, assuming it was just a modern wood stove. It is not. Standing in the showroom, the salesman made them sound identical. They are fundamentally different beasts, and buying the wrong one will leave you either shivering in the dark or chained to a splitting mall. Let me explain exactly how they differ, where each fails, and which one actually makes sense for your home before you make a massive financial mistake. The fuel and storage reality. Pellet stoves run on 40-pound bags of compressed sawdust. These are uniform, strictly controlled little capsules of fuel. You buy them by the ton, and they usually arrive stacked on a pallet wrapped tightly in plastic. The massive catch is that they absolutely must stay dry. If ambient moisture or water gets to them, they expand and turn back into a pile of useless sawdust mush. You need a dedicated, dry indoor space, like a garage or a basement, to keep them safe throughout the winter. Wood stoves are an entirely different animal. You are dealing with split cordwood. This means you need serious outdoor real estate. You need a dedicated woodshed, or at least a large open area where you can stack rows of wood on pallets, cover the top, and let them season for at least 6 to 12 months. Wet wood does not burn well and coats your chimney in dangerous creosote. Dealing with cordwood is an entire lifestyle. It involves chainsaws, hydraulic splitters, bark, bugs, and splinters tracking into your living room. If you buy your wood locally, you are at the mercy of market prices and delivery schedules. If you cut it yourself, you are actively trading your autumn weekends for winter heat. Daily operation and the automation factor. A pellet stove operates much like a modern gas furnace. You open the hopper at the top, pour in a heavy bag of pellets, press a button on a remote, and walk away. An internal electric auger slowly feeds those pellets into a small fire pot at the bottom. It uses an electric igniter to start the fire automatically and relies on internal thermostats to regulate the ambient temperature. If the room gets cold, the brain tells the auger to feed more pellets and ramps up the blowing fan. It is a set and forget system. You can easily go to work for 10 hours and come home to a perfectly warm house. A wood stove demands your constant, active participation. You are the thermostat and you are the auger. You have to crumble newspaper, precisely stack kindling, strike a match, and carefully nurse the small fire to life. Once it finally gets going, you have to monitor the draft controls to dictate the burn rate. Every few hours, you need to open the heavy iron door and throw on another log to keep the cycle going. You will come home to a cold house and have to start the whole messy process over again. A wood stove requires a firm commitment to the physical craft of tending a fire. It is deeply satisfying for some people, but it quickly becomes a tedious, dirty chore for others. Power needs and grid dependency. This is the exact issue that froze my neighbor. Pellet stoves absolutely require electricity to function. They have complex circuit boards, motorized augers, and draft fans pushing the exhaust. If the power goes out during a winter storm, the stove shuts down completely within minutes. It does not matter if your hopper is completely full of expensive pellets. Without electricity, you have zero heat. You can buy deep cycle battery backup systems or run them off a loud gasoline generator, but that immediately adds cost, noise, and complex maintenance to your setup. Wood stoves require absolutely no electricity to function safely and effectively. They operate entirely on the basic laws of thermal physics. The intense heat of the fire creates a natural updraft in the chimney, which naturally pulls fresh oxygen into the firebox to keep the combustion going. They radiate massive amounts of heat into the room naturally. If a massive blizzard knocks out the local power grid for a week, a wood stove keeps your house just as warm as it was on a sunny afternoon. For people living in rural areas with an unreliable power grid, this single point often makes the final decision for them. Bottom line, if emergency heat is your primary goal, a wood stove is the only real answer. The heat profile and aesthetic experience. The way these two stoves heat your home feels completely different on your skin. A pellet stove pushes heat into the room using a noisy convection fan. The fire itself is highly concentrated in a small cup. It looks more like a small, aggressive blowtorch sitting inside a metal box. It completely lacks the romantic, relaxing appeal of a classic fireplace. However, the heat it produces is extremely consistent. Because the computer regulates the fuel feed based on room temperature, the house stays remarkably even. You will not get roasted out of your living room, and you will not wake up freezing at 3 in the morning. Wood stoves produce a deeply penetrating, intense radiant heat. It warms the physical objects in the room, including your bones, directly. It genuinely feels like standing in the warm summer sun. Aesthetically, absolutely nothing beats it. You get rolling, dancing flames that mesmerize you and crackle naturally. However, the heat output is heavily cyclical. When you load a fresh batch of dry wood on a bed of hot coals, the stove gets incredibly hot. As the wood slowly burns down, the heat drops off sharply. You have to learn exactly how to manage the manual air controls to smooth out these spikes, but you will always have a much wider temperature swing than a digitized pellet system. The maintenance burden. Every fire produces ash, but exactly how you deal with it depends entirely on the stove you buy. Pellet stoves burn so incredibly efficiently that they produce very little physical ash. You will typically need to shut the stove down once a week, let it cool completely, and use a specialized ash vacuum to clean out the fire pot and wipe the glass door. However, they are complex electrical machines. Once a year, you must perform a grueling deep clean. This involves getting into the hidden exhaust passages, cleaning the delicate blower motors, and wiping off sensitive temperature sensors. Many people hire a trained technician to do this, which adds significantly to your yearly running cost. If a sensor fails or an auger motor dies in January, you are stuck waiting on expensive proprietary parts. Wood stoves produce significantly more ash volume. You will be scooping hot ash into a metal bucket every few days to keep the firebox clear. It is a dusty, dirty job that gets ash on your floors. But the stove itself is incredibly simple and virtually indestructible. It is basically a heavy steel or cast iron box built to withstand extreme heat. There are no moving parts, no circuit boards, and no delicate sensors to break. The critical maintenance happens entirely in the chimney. Burning cordwood produces creosote, a highly flammable tar that sticks to the inside of your metal flue. You must have the chimney swept and thoroughly inspected by a professional at least once a year. Skipping this vital step is exactly how catastrophic house fires start. Upfront costs and long-term economics. The bold price tags on the actual stoves can be highly deceiving. A quality pellet stove is generally more expensive up front than a basic steel wood stove because you are paying for circuit boards, precision motors, and automated convenience. However, the installation is usually much cheaper. Because pellet exhaust is relatively cool and actively pressurized by a fan, it can be safely vented directly out a sidewall using a small specialized pipe. You do not always need a massive vertical chimney going all the way through your roof. Wood stoves are generally cheaper to manufacture, but the installation will often double or even triple the total project cost. A wood stove absolutely requires a Class A high-temperature chimney system. It must draft vertically through your roof and extend safely above the roofline to work properly. That thick stainless steel insulated pipe is wildly expensive per foot. If your house does not already have an existing masonry chimney that is in excellent repair and properly lined with steel, expect the venting components and the skilled labor to be a massive financial hit. You always have to run the numbers on the total installed package, not just the metal box sitting on the showroom floor. The final verdict. Choosing between these two heat sources is not about finding the objectively better heater. It is about being brutally honest with yourself regarding your daily habits and your lifestyle. If you want the modern convenience of central heating, if you work long hours and want to come home to a warm house without smelling like a campfire, buy the pellet stove. It gives you the independence of storing your own solid fuel without the manual labor of pretending to be a lumberjack. If you want absolute independence from a fragile power grid, if you have reliable access to cheap or free wood, and if you genuinely enjoy the physical process of building and tending a fire, the wood stove is your clear answer. It is primal, it is reliable, and it provides a comforting quality of heat that computer automation simply cannot replicate. Think about what happens when the snow starts falling heavily and the lights flicker out. That image alone usually points you directly toward the right decision.